Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday of spring break here in Oregon. I realize for some it is not spring break, but for us here where I'm at, it is spring break. So happy that you've joined me tonight. Let's go ahead and see who we have on. If we can get the computer to do, oh, there it goes. It's just going to be slow. So let's see. Says it can't reach my Facebook page. Yay. Okay. And then it went back. So here we are. Let's see if we can find this. Get it up so I can see who's on. Check your comments. Oh, there we are. Okay. Here we are. Now, hopefully we don't have too much glare. Try and minimize. Oh, no, I don't. There. I think I got it out of the way. Okay. Hopefully it's not too dark and you can see well. Hello, Laura. So happy you could join me tonight. Tonight we're going to be using Filled with Fun bundle. This is an online exclusive, which means it's not in any publication, and it can be ordered either as a stamp set alone, dies alone, or as a bundle. If you purchase in a bundle, you save 10%. And you can find it in my online store, and if you need the number, hello Cynthia, I'll be sure and grab that. Well, the bundle number is, let's pull that out because I've got it right here. The bundle number is 163561 if you need that. Okay, so this is a 13-piece photopolymer stamp set, and it has 14 dies. So the dies cut out all of these images. Actually, it doesn't cut this image, but it does have a die that will cut a balloon string. And then you have balloons, and you have these two pieces. This banner piece does not get cut. Oh, I guess it does. Yes, it does. Right there. There's the banner piece. Plus, you can do your own little banner there. You've got a wagon, railings, and then, yeah, a handle. So this is a really nice set. We're going to use that tonight, and we're going to make one card and one 3D project. And I did want to show you that the brand new Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog is in my possession. So these will be available for us to pre-order on April 2nd. And I am placing my mail orders by the end of the month. So I'll get those out to my customers. Hello, Tracy. So let's go ahead and set that aside because we don't need that. And, okay, not too much glare on the glass mat. Yay! Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do a fun fold card. And I kind of made up my dimensions for this myself. So we're going to be using the 2022, 2024 in color pearls. You will notice a theme to this card tonight. We're also using the scalloped contour dies. These will be retiring. So will these. So we're using some retiring parts. And then we're using some parts that are staying that you'll still be able to get after the catalogs retire. Because, of course, this is an online exclusive, not in a publication. We're using a piece of Orchid Oasis. Now, this is one of the 2022 to 2024 in colors, and anything that has those colors in it retires, as is 2024. So those will all be going away. This is the second smallest, or the third smallest of the scallop contour dies. If you don't already have these, you need to get them. I use these all the time, and they're my favorites, and they're not leaving my collection. I will still be using them. We're also using the Meandering Meadows 6x6 Designer Series paper. This is another of the online exclusives. You will find it in the online store under online exclusives. Okay, so we've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and I've cut this to 2 inches by 3 1/4, a hair over. And then we've got a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 2 inches by 5 1/4. This is for our inside, and I've already stamped one of the images and colored it to save us some time. We've got a medium envelope, and I've taken a piece of the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper and placed on the flap and used that same flower set to decorate my envelope. We've got a piece of basic white cardstock. This started at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I cut a 2-inch strip off of this and then cut this down to 5 1/4. So that's where the 2 inches comes from. Okay, so just cut it off the front of your card and then cut it down to 5 1/4 for the inside piece. All right. Now I've got a piece of the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper, and I left this in a 6x6 piece because I wanted to show you how I cut it. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim this to, I'm going to turn it upside down because this is the side I want. So I'm going to bring this over to 4 1/8. And that's what I want, 4 1/8. And actually, before I do that, let me cut this to 5 1/4. That way I'll have a nice whole strip across the top. I'll have this 3/4 inch strip I can use on something else. So that was 5 1/4. And again, I'm going to cut this to 4 1/8, and this is the side I want, so I've turned it upside down. I'm going to cut this at 4 1/8. Okay, that's a scrap piece. And then I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to cut this at 2 1/8, I believe. Yep, I was right, 2 1/8. So I'm going to cut 2 1/8 off of the left side of this piece. Okay, and that's going to leave me with 2 inches here. Okay, now I want to keep these pieces in the orientation that they belong in, and I'm going to bring those in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere these to my card. And I'm going to bring in my silicone mat because the tape runner works best on the silicone mat. I tend to have less trouble with it. So I'm going to take the 2 1/8 inch piece, and again I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to show you an easy way to get this to line up. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer in. I'm going to stick this piece up at the top or bottom, doesn't matter, just along the ledge. And then I'm going to put my cardstock in the orientation that I want it. And I'm going to slide this up here right along the edge because I want this to line right up with the edge of that cardstock. So I'm going to look to the left and to the right to make sure that I've got equal distance, and then I'm going to lay that down. And now my edges are perfectly lined up. Okay? So I'm going to take my trimmer out of the way now, and I'm going to take this 2-inch strip that was left and going to put some seal on here. And for this piece then, I'm going to turn this upside down because it's easier for me. I want an even border on 3 sides. So, bottom, top, and this left side here, I want those all to be equal distances. And then when I close my card, it looks like I have a seamless seam. Okay? All right, so then I'm going to take my inside piece, that 2-inch piece, and I'm just going to butt this up next to my designer series paper. Make sure the tops and bottoms are even, and press that down, and the entire inside of my card is now finished. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the outside of our card. Let's bring in that piece of basic white that we have. We're going to take Celebrating Someone Special, and this is from the Filled with Fun stamp set. And we're going to take Orchid Oasis ink. Oh, interesting, I didn't pull any of my pads. Oh, actually, I didn't use Orchid Oasis. I wanted something darker, so I used Starry Sky. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to put this right down here at the bottom. That is not looking very dark to me for some reason. Okay, just going to put this in right here like this. Not very dark at all. Okay, hang on, I'm going to grab this. For some reason that just really doesn't look like the color that I used. I'm going to turn that over because I don't like how light that is. I might try Night of Navy because that is not looking as dark as I wanted it. So let's go ahead and, yep, there we go. That must be what I used. There we go. Whoa. Yay. Okay, I rocked that a little bit, but I was okay. Okay, so we've got the Night of Navy now. And then we're going to bring in the stamps, the flower stamps from Filled with Fun. Hello, Lynette. How are you? And we're going to take Memento, Tuxedo Black for this one. And we're going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp these down on top of those words, so the words kind of look like the ground underneath the flowers. That's kind of what I was imagining anyway. Okay, now we're going to bring out some Stampin' Blends, and we're going to quickly color these little flowers. So I've got the Dark and Light Fresh Freesia. We've got Dark and Light Orchid Oasis, Melon Mambo Dark and Light, and then I don't need all these yellows, which I threw in here. I was working on Easter basket tags today with the kiddos. So some things got thrown back in my basket possibly that I didn't really need in this basket because they probably got taken out of a different one. So I'm going to use the dark Daffodil Delight here. So let's start with the Dark and Light Fresh Freesia. And I'm just going to take my Fresh Freesia Come on. And I'm going to color 3 of these flowers pretty quickly. They don't have to be perfect by any means. Just pick any 3. And we'll color those in. And if you leave some white, don't worry about it, because those will look like shine. I'm going to go back with my dark fresh freesia, and I'm just going to go along the artist lines here. Super fast. This is easy coloring. Okay. And then we're going to move to the dark and light Old Olive, or dark and light Orchid Oasis. And we're going to do that same thing again. Pick 3 flowers. Start with the light. The hardest part of this is picking your 3 flowers. Okay, so we've got that, and then we'll take this one over here. I was trying to make them look, you know, not spaced out kind of evenly, the colors. Okay, so now we've got our dark and light, or our Orchid Oasis. Now let's go back, and we're just going to put in our little veins. Petal veins, and then we're going to do the same thing again with the Melon Mambo. Super fast. This is a pretty quick card to put together. Easy layout and easily duplicated for any stamp set. Okay, so we've got our Melon Mambo. Let's go back with our dark. Put in our veins. Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling much better, Lynette. Okay, so now we're going to take for the leaves, we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist. And these stems are very tiny, so I'm just going to dot along the stems so that I don't go outside. That's just a little tip. If you just dot your color, it tends not to bleed out. So we just literally dot it with the tip of the marker. Okay, not too difficult so far, pretty easy coloring. Now I'm just going to go back in and go along the leaf veins here and add in a couple of dots of dark on the stems, especially at the tips of the flowers where there would be a shadow. Okay, and that is all there is to the coloring. Now we're going to go back with the Dark Daffodil Delight, and in the center of the Melon Mambo, I'm going to put some Daffodil Delight in those flower centers. In the Orchid Oasis, I'm going to put some Dark Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to use my light Orchid Oasis in the center of my fresh freesia flowers. Okay, so there you have it. Those are all of here. I'm going to go ahead and slide this over and bring the colors in. So you can see those, the ones that I used there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add this piece. Move all these out of the way. We're going to add this piece to the Orchid Oasis scallop contour dies. Get out of the way there. Okay, let me bring this in because this is the easiest way for me to do this. And I'm just going to lay that in between the dotted lines here, or that's the idea, the stitching. Just lay that down in the stitching, just like so. And because I turned that over, I've got a little bit of an edge there. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and run that along the outside edge where I cut that piece so I don't have that raised edge. And no, I flipped it over. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to take this and we're going to add this to the front of our card. And we're just going to center it up, but we need to make sure that we don't put any adhesive on this side, otherwise we'll glue our card shut. So I'm just going to put my adhesive on this half. Hopefully I didn't get that too far. And then I want to leave a little bit of my path. I'm just going to center this up between those two sides and make sure that I don't have any adhesive stuck there, and I don't. And then for the finishing touch on this, we're going to grab those pearls. And I'm going to bring in the Orchid Oasis pearls. And I'm going to put these in the center of the fresh freesia flowers. Right here. And, oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, you guys, I can't have this. I need my Wink of Stella. I'm just going to put some Wink of Stella on our flowers. And I'm going to wipe off in between colors just to make sure that I'm not contaminating my colors. I don't want to drag any other color in. I shouldn't, because they should be dry enough, but I don't want to take any chances. Okay. And there you have it. There is card number 1. Pretty easy, but I think it does kind of pack a little bit of a wow. Because people are going to go, well, how did you do that? Okay, so there you have it. We've got our matching envelope with our coordinating flap. I hope you like that. Oh, thank you, Tracy. So glad you like that. Okay, now, this was actually the second card I made using this particular layout. This was my first card. And so this is from the Bright Skies dies. I used this. This is the wagon done with just the dies from the Filled with Fun set. Again, I used those flowers, the handle. I brought in the birds and dragonflies and birds from the Garden Meadows suite of products in the online exclusives. This sun comes from the Bright Skies bundle. And then this little hello is in one of the sets that is retiring called Go To Greetings. I love this little hello because it's just the right size for a lot of little things. Okay, so that is that, and I just did the flowers again at the bottom. This is the same designer series paper, both of these different patterns. They're just the flip sides of the Garden Meadow DSP. So I hope you like that. And again, with the envelope, I used a piece of that designer series paper for the flap, and then I just stuck a sun in the middle of the envelope, hoping to brighten someone's day when that comes in the mail. All right, so let's move on to our 3D project. Let's get these out of the way. All the little things I don't need. Okay, don't need this anymore. Okay. So this project primarily uses the Filled with Fun set. I've done a lot of the pre-work so that I could show you how I put the little treat box together. We're using basic gray and pecan pie. And these are the Stampin' blends that I used. And I think I might have used Fresh Freesia too. I might have pulled it out of here for that second project. I'll look here in a second. Just want to get these out here for you because I've already done the coloring. There was a lot. This is actually a second light pool party because my light pool party wasn't working very good. Okay, so there are the blends. Let me take this one out so it doesn't confuse anybody. Okay. In addition to the Filled with Fun, we're going to be using Sending Smiles, and I'm using this just for the birthday wishes. And this is a retiring product. It's a stamp and dies. But I love these little sentiments here, and the Filled with Fun bundle has this adorable set here with the presents, and it has this flag, but there are no sentiments in this stamp set that will fit in that little flag. So I brought in the Sending Smiles to make that work, and I'll show you how I did that. We're also using the Countryside corners. Okay, or I think we are. I've got it in here anyway. We'll see. Did I use No, I don't think I did use Countryside corners. I don't know why I've got that in there. I must have just stuck it in there. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. This is for die cutting. This is the box. And then we've got some pieces here for stamping and die cutting. We actually have, there's a lot of die cutting that you need to do for this little box. And let me show you what we're making. We're making this little wagon. But this is the first little wagon I made, and it's wide enough to hold 2 fun size bars. But what I was really trying to do was make a wagon that would hold 4 nuggets. So I revamped the box a little bit smaller so that I could perfectly fit the 4 nuggets. Because when I did my math for the nuggets, I didn't quite do it right. Okay, so what you need for this, and I'm going to show you how I did this because we're going to do some reverse stamping here. Okay, because we need to do that. So first of all, you need to stamp, and we're going to cut. So here's where our crumb cake comes in. So I'm going to take my pecan pie and my wagon, And I need to stamp 2 of these. And I'm not worried about these. These are pretty symmetrical, so I don't care about these. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp 2 of these down. Okay, so you need 1. Hang on. That particular stamp does not want to give up the ink in that spot. I do not know why, but it's been stubborn the whole time. Doesn't matter what surface I stamp on, mine does not want to give up the ink. Okay, so I've got 2 of those. Now I'm going to take my little wagon wheel. And I tried to think of how I can make this so the wagon wheels would be nice and sturdy on my box. So I'm just going to take some basic gray ink, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to stamp my wheels right on my wagon, just like that. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Now, because I've stamped my wheels right on there, I have to fussy cut these, okay? And I fussy cut them pretty close. I'm not going to do that, save us some time. And then we're going to stamp our pieces here. This is where you need the reverse stamping, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of white and we're going to get our presents, which I thought I had out. Hang on, let me look because I thought I had them on a block. Okay, I do. Where did that block? Oh my goodness, I'm such a dork sometimes. Oop, it's not on a block, it's right here on my Stamparatus. Okay, then I'm going to take my basic gray ink again, and I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp this down. Okay. So now I've got that one, and hopefully this is big enough. Let me see. Nope. Which is why I have this extra piece here. Okay, so now I've got one headed the right direction. Now I need to reverse that for the back side. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my silicone mat here. Okay, I've got this all lined up. I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp that down. Okay, then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to ink that again. So I want a good thick ink here. And then I'm going to take my piece of basic white and I'm going to put it into the corner, and I'm going to rub this down. And I'm going to pick up that ink. Okay. Now before I do anything else, I'm going to ink up my stamp again. And I'm going to stamp it down on the back side. Okay. So now I have my reversed image here. And on the back side of that, I have the same image. And I'll show you why in just a moment. Let me put this to this. Oh, and while we're at this, we need to do that one more time. Where this time we're going to take the handle of our wagon. And we're going to take that basic gray again. I'm going to stamp that down for our image. Okay. And I'm going to set this aside. Okay, now I've got my mat again. And I want to make sure that there's no ink left on this for sure. Okay. Dry that off. And then I'm going to ink up my handle. Stamp that down. And one more time for good measure. Okay, then I'm going to take another piece of basic white, put it down in that corner, pick up that ink, and before I pick that up, I'm going to ink my handle again, and I'm going to stamp that right down there. Okay, now I've got reversed and good. Okay, now we're done with this and we can put this aside. Okay. Now, I would color all these presents, right? But I would make sure I color the opposite side of this one. And I need to put my sentiment in here. So this is going to be my front, and this is going to be my back. So I'm going to take my birthday wishes. And first I'm going to color my flag, which I'm coloring in fresh freesia, which I need to pull out of the other thing here. Okay, so I'm going to color in light fresh freesia. I'm going to color both the flags. Okay. And then I'm going to take my dark fresh freesia and I'm going to put in just a little bit of the dark here along the outside edges there for a little bit of shadow. Okay, and then I'll go back with my fresh freesia and kind of blend that together. Okay, and then remember, this flag on the right is the front image and this is the reversed image. Okay, and then we're going to take the birthday wishes in basic gray, and I'm going to ink up birthday. And I'm going to line this in here, stamp down birthday. Then I'm going to clean my stamp on my chamois. And then I'm going to ink up wishes. And oh man, I did the wrong way. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do it this way. Oh my goodness. Ding dong me. It's a good thing I already have this done. Wishes goes here. Like so. Okay? Now, you've got all that done, colored, you're good to go. And then you're going to need, you need extra here, because you're going to hand cut these, and while you're at it, you're also going to hand cut 2 more, okay? So what I did was, I have one on the back, a plain one on the back, and a plain one, or the stamped image on the front, and the plain one on the back. Okay. And I did that so that the wheels would be nice and sturdy. Okay. So really what I did, how I made that work out for me was I took some extra cardstock, and before I cut, I've got it stamped, and before I cut it, I glued on this extra piece. Okay? So just glue it on there like so. You're just gonna, and actually I used liquid glue because I wanted it to be good. So let me just cut this piece here because I don't need all of it. I just need a piece this way. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here on my wagons, and I'm going to take this, this is the easiest way to do this. Then you're only fussy cutting twice instead of 4 times, and you're still getting the double layer that you need. Okay? So then you just fussy cut this out. I stayed pretty close to the lines, but just outside I left just a little bit of a border. They're pretty straight lines other than the tires. And if you turn the paper with your left hand, it's easier to make those curves and not get a flat spot in your wheel. Okay? So just do that twice. And now you've got a double thick wagon. Okay? All right. So we'll put that aside. Now with these, we've got dies to cut this. Okay? And as you can see, they're reversed. But remember, I had you stamp on the front, which makes it so that you can take your dies. Okay, so you can just take your dies, line them up, run this through. Let me get my tape here. So you're just going to run that through. Tape that up. I'm going to throw this on here. And remember, we've got our other piece, which I've already cut. But when you cut your birthday pieces, you need to cut the 2 stamped, and you're going to do this the same way that I'm showing you how to do with this. You're just going to put it on the reverse side. And then when you bring this out, oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the full stamped front side, but now you've got your back side perfectly die cut. So now I've got a reverse image, and then I've got my regular front image. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that I've already cut. Yep, it's already cut. Okay, so I've got one in reverse, and one in the front. All right. So that's how you do that. And you'll do the same thing with the packages. Because remember, I had you stamp on both sides of the reverse image. So when you cut it, you get 2. Then, so that you don't have to do a bunch of extra coloring because once you color this, then you have all the coloring on the back, right? And you don't want that to show. So you just cut an extra, just blank white piece, and we'll glue those together. And then all of your coloring won't show. Okay? Any questions on that? Or are you good? Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these together so that I don't want to glue twice. I don't want to color 4 times. So I'm just going to take this basic white, and really, because it's just a white piece, even if you didn't want to use basic white, if you had just some scrap cheapy white, that'll work, because it's just the back side of the die cut. And with the liquid glue, you've got wiggle room to line up those sides. And now you can't even tell that I colored the back of that. My blends aren't bleeding through. Okay? So that's that. And then we have one more because we have the reverse side that we need to do. So make sure when you're doing that you're doing it to the right side. Okay? You want the side that you stamped and colored on. So we're just going to glue this on right here like this. Line that all up. Get my edges all even. Okay, so now this is for the front of my box, and this is for the back of my box. Okay? Got my 2 handle pieces. I'm going to glue these together. Okay, so that I've got opposites. So in this case, I'm not gluing extras. I'm just going to glue these 2 together. Because I need my handle to be a little bit stronger, and I didn't want a white backing because I've got the decorations on both sides. Okay? So that's why I had you do this one in reverse stamping too. Now this will be the front of our box, and this will go on the back of our box. All right. So let's go ahead and set all this excess stuff that we don't need out of our way. And let's make our box so that we can put this all together. Okay, so for your box, you need a piece of cardstock that is 4 7/8 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 4 7/8. Let's bring in our Simply Scored tool. And we're going to put the 4 7/8 inch side at the top. Oh, actually, this doesn't matter, because you're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 1/8. Okay, so 1 1/8, 1 1/8, 1 1/8, and 1 1/8. Okay, easy peasy. Then we're just going to score on all 4, or burnish on all the score lines. Okay. This is the easiest box And then we're going to cut up on the first score line and up again on this long side. I like to cut inside the score lines on the large rectangle. Then I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and I'm going to do that same thing again. Up the first score line to the horizontal, and stop, and then again. Okay? Now, I'm going to take and miter these corners here on all 4 of my glue tabs, because that's what we've created with these 4 little squares there. And just take little wedge cuts. Okay, we'll get rid of those. And then we're going to take some tear and tape, which I had right here. Where did I move it to when I started? Silly me. Okay, well, oh, I set mine right. I always set something on top of what I need. Why do I do that? Okay. Let's find the end of our tear tape here. And I'm going to put my tear tape right along the score line here. And then at the end here. And I'm going to do that on all 4 tabs. I find the tear tape tears easier for me if I do it this way. If I use a straight edge. Okay, so we've almost got that. I made one of these little boxes for Nathan for his birthday last week, and he was so ecstatic. He was a little bit rough on the wagon handle, and it's kind of a little bit on the floppy side today. But he's been so proud of his little wagon. Okay. So we'll get this. Now, of course, you could put the flowers in the wagon. You could find another stamp set. This would be great in the fall with pumpkins. Maybe you could find something that would go along with Christmas. Sure, you could use this little wagon for all occasions, and you'll probably be seeing it again. And I might just adjust the boxes for some different size candies. Okay, so I've got those all in. Now I like to take my bone folder and go inside on those tabs and burnish them so they don't come apart. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pieces. I'm going to add my my presents. There's a little line along the bottom. I'm going to put just a little line of glue here. And I'm going to take my wagon to my presents here. And I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to take my other wagon and I'm going to flip this one over. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because this is it. Because I'm flipping over this piece, because this is already reversed. Okay, so then I'm going to take my wagon here. I'm going to add my birthday presents, and the wagon is pretty much symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now I've got my front and my back for my box. I'm going to flip my birthday over. I'm going to put my glue on the side of my box here. And then I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to try to put my box pretty much along the edge, but making sure that I don't go down past this little dip right here, and center that up. So I'm just going to put that on there. Center that like so. Give it a good press, and then I'll let you see how I did that. You can see that I have this just a tiny little bit here, but I line up right here and right here, okay? So I've got that. Now I'm going to keep this down, and I'm going to pick up my other side. I'm going to add the glue again to the box. This ensures I don't get glue where I don't want it. If I put it on the box, I know I can't go outside my dimensions. Again, I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line that up within those same parameters. I've got just this tiny lip again right here. I'm lined up squarely here and squarely here, and that will ensure that my wagon will stand. Now, I want to make sure that those don't move. So again, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to press down so that everything's good. Okay, so now I've got that, and, oh, Tracy, thank you. So now we've got our nuggets. Now I find I like to turn my bottom nuggets upside down so that I have a flat surface to set my other nuggets on. And this box will perfectly fit 4 nuggets, just like that. Okay, now we have one more thing to do, and we're going to add our handle. So I'm going to bring back in the scoreboard. You could do this on your trimmer. I'm going to take and stick this anywhere on my board. Okay? I'm not real particular. What I want to do, though, is I want to put the stamp part here in a groove, any groove. I'm just going to lay that up there flat. I want the groove to go right to where when I do this, it runs right at the end of the stamp, okay? And this is the front. So now I'm just going to bend this over like this. And then I'm going to add this to my wagon. And I found the easiest way to do this is to take a glue dot. And we're going to roll that up a bit. And I'm going to put that right on that white part of the wagon tongue. Okay. And then I'm going to, I'm searching, I want this to look so that when this part sits, it sits right in the middle. I'm not worried about the white part, I'm worried about the stamped part that's sticking out, okay? And then I'm just going to give that a nice press into there. Get that glue dot nice and adhered. And now I have this little wagon with its handle. So I can pull my little wagon along with its treats. I hope you guys like that. I had so much fun designing this little wagon. So much fun. Trying to figure out how to make it all work and add the handle to it so it would be all pretty on both sides. And you've got your birthday and your wishes, both sides decorated. not too difficult. And you have the cutest little table favor for your birthday. In this case, probably girl. But I do have Nathan's little boy one. I forgot to bring it in because it's looking kind of sad right now. Anyway, I hope you like that. And then here is the one that I did that fits the Snickers size. Let me see if I can find, oh, here's the measurements. I didn't make up a thing. Here's the measurements for the nuggets. It's a 4 7/8 by 3 1/4 inch piece of cardstock. You score it at 1 1/8 on all 4 sides. Okay. The fun size one that I did, I actually should have taller sides. So I'll probably revamp this, but this is what I did. I did 4 5/8 by 3 1/4, and I scored it an inch. So I'll revamp those so that my little Snickers fit a little bit higher in there. I mean, it's okay. They won't fall out necessarily, but it could use a little bit higher sides, like by maybe 1/4 inch or so. But you'll probably see that in a future video with something other than presents inside. Like if we get closer and get some pumpkins or something. Okay, that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed those projects as much as I enjoyed making them for you. And don't forget to make sure you check out those retired last chance lists so that you don't miss out on the things that are retiring that you still would like to have. And let's bring back in that card we made so you can have another look at that fun fold there. Okay. All right, everybody. I will be back again. Oh, you guys, I'm so glad you love those projects because I had so much fun making them. This is a bundle that I hemmed and hawed about. And actually, I had my downline get it for me. So, or my upline get it for me. So I was very excited about that, and I'm so happy that I was able to use it for you tonight. All right, see you next Tuesday at the same time. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon.